Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in this video I will be sharing with you guys how I painted a self portrait, and that too within just 2 hours with acrylic paint. So I have achieved this after 6 years of trying. I have tried multiple times to paint a self portrait before and it has failed. So this was my successful attempt. So for the materials, we are going to take this paint brushes over here, which I have ordered from the Meesho. This is a set of 11, and I have put the link for both the paintbrushes and paints in the description box along with the sketchbook. This is a Menorah sketchbook which is 15 by 15 centimeter, and it's my favorite brand which I really like, and this is my fourth sketchbook. So I have prepared the sketch over here as you can see, and we are going to paint this today. For sketching I use Loomis method, and if you want a tutorial do make sure to comment, I'll share. Then we are using Fevicryl acrylic colors, and this is I usually order the primary set. As you can see, most of my materials are student based. I am myself a college student, so I'm not spending my money on expensive materials. So now these are the brushes we are going to use over here, and this is our reference. In this I have divided into mid-tone, skin color and highlights. I usually start with the mid-tone so I don't get confused between how light the painting is supposed to look or how dark it is supposed to get. Unlike oil paints, acrylics don't blend with each other and they dry very fast. So if you go from dark to light, it creates a muddy effect. So I usually try to avoid that, and it's quite easy if you go from mid-tone to light and from light to then dark. So now when I realized that my shade is proper, I just thinned it out and applied it as a base paint. I made sure to go over the lips as well. So when I add the pinks or reds over the lips, it will look natural instead of like instead of giving a cartoonic effect. Then I made sure to cover all the mid shades where the midtones are there. Now in this painting you could see I made sure that the hard lines actually look hard and avoided too much of blending. If you see my previous post, I used to blend everything very much, like I used to blend every shadow, everything, and I was also afraid to add the smile lines. But here I avoided that. I added smile lines properly, and I also avoided blending in too much. Then I added the skin shade, which we consider as the second shade, so I get a proper understanding that my colors are proper, and then we go over the details. As you can see, to avoid working on the teeth too much, I added the same shade of the white in the eyes over the teeth, and then I'm just refining the details. Slowly, once the base shades are done, I just keep on adding the darker and the lighter shades alternately. Like if the darks are not much darker, then I'll keep on adding the darks one by one and the whites one by one and redefining the hard lines properly. So here I'm doing the same thing. Once I realized that okay, this shade is fine, I decided to add the darker shades within this. And see, this is the darker shade. So as you can see, I'm only putting this on the places where you could say you would mark with a black pen. Okay, so the reference didn't have much of the black lines, instead it had the brown lines because of the sunlight. So I made sure to avoid black, which I used to do every time. And I don't know if this tutorial is being helpful or not. I'm just trying to put what I was thinking during painting into the words. Well, this is first time I'm actually explaining my painting. Usually, even for my students, I just first explain the process and then I directly show it. So it's kind of difficult, you could say, or it's kind of weird to explain what we are doing, because most of the time I am instinctively putting myself out there and painting and painting. So now you can see over here I like to go, or you could say, put the shadows of the hairs first on the face or on the forehead, so that when I add the flicks or bangs over the head, it looks natural. As you can see, I have added the shadow under the bangs first. Now, here I realized that my face was looking way too much orangish or brownish, so I decided to paint the lips red first. And once I realized that the face wasn't looking very much reddish because of the sunlight and natural, I decided to thin out the red paint with the water and glaze over it, which we often use in the on the canvases with glazing technique. So I did that over here. To be honest, rather than preparing a perfect shade of the brown with the perfect amount of the reds, I find this method much more easy to go. Then, after adding the reds, if you can see, once I added white over it, it was looking much more nice, or you could say much more like a sunlight. It was looking bright. Now, here I realized that I was instinctively blending the shadows, so I decided I'll border it out and then add the whites much more nicely, which will give it a bright effect. So, here I did the same thing. One thing I noticed from this and the other paintings I did was that I used to take a reference based on the picture I liked instead of the picture which had quality. So most of the times when I painted myself or painted a self portrait, I was using a picture which was a lot of filtered or had um, like a filtered version. In this painting, in this reference, it was mostly unfiltered version. You can see my acne as well in the reference. So this was much unfiltered version and it had very much clarity. Although this would be like my second or third favorite picture, still I didn't choose others because this one had much more clarity in the reference and it was easy for me to understand the reference. So this is the main thing nowadays. I put thoughts onto whether the reference is clear or not, whether it's blurry or not. So that's the one thing I realized while painting this. And then the second thing would be the hard lines and the soft lines, which I already talked about. I used to blend a lot and I avoided doing that in this. Now over here I was getting confused whether the brightness on my face is visible or not. So I decided I'll do the background first. See, if your face is glowing, see if your reference is glowing and you are not able to understand whether the shades you are adding are glowing or not, whether they are looking dull or not, just add the backgrounds or the sides so you will understand whether the colors are complementing each other or not. So I first did the hair and the surroundings and then I added whites, so it was clear for me that yes, they are blending. Now here you can see I added the whites everywhere and I was looking like an old lady, but of course I knew that my phone died in between, so the second part of adding much more darker browns was later. I think I should have added much more darker browns, but this was sufficient enough. So I added the browns and it covered up the region. So far, this is all the thoughts I had which I put into the words while painting this. I hope this video comes out as a useful thing for you guys, and I really hope you enjoyed this because this is also my first time while giving a tutorial on such things. So thank you.